My compassionate and imaginative Pisces friend. Hello and welcome. My name is Mina, and I'm here to offer you a 3-card reading exploring the themes of you, your path, and your potential. I invite you to consider what the reading reveals about possible challenges, opportunities, and personal growth for the week ahead. Take a deep breath, rest your mind, and let's see what the cards have to share with you today. In Pisces, there is a softness in your eyes this week, but underneath it, the waters are shifting. You might notice yourself hesitating before answering a question or catching your breath between obligations as if a long-forgotten part of you is quietly asking for space. There's a subtle ache, almost like longing, but you can't name its source. It's not loneliness exactly, nor is it dissatisfaction. Instead, it's a tension that whispers, something is being juggled, and you're not sure how much longer you can keep it all moving in harmony. You sense a change coming. Maybe you're not ready to name it aloud, but your heart has already begun to listen for the moment when the music changes and you'll have to move differently. Each day you feel the tug of competing needs, the pull between keeping peace and seeking honesty. It's not an easy place to stand, but it's where you are right now, present, tender, and aware that you can't stay here forever. You find yourself in the week like someone balancing on a gentle swell, adapting to every shift with practiced grace. The Two of Pentacles captures this. Your hands are full, maybe even overflowing, yet you keep moving, barely missing a beat. There's a certain pride in how you manage it all. Your emotions are layered. There's relief when something works out, exhaustion after a long day, and a quiet anxiety that hums in the background each time something new gets added to your plate. You can sense the rhythm of your responsibilities, and you match their tempo, sometimes even setting it, yet the effort is starting to show in small, invisible ways. Perhaps you've caught yourself waking in the night, mind racing through tomorrow's agenda. Or maybe you've noticed your patience thinning around the edges, especially when something unexpected tips the balance. There's a hopefulness, too, a sense that if you can just keep everything aloft for a little longer, the solution will reveal itself or the pressure will ease. But the truth is, this juggling act is not endless. The more you try to keep every ball in the air, the more you realize that some things are asking to be put down, or at least to be looked at differently. Underneath the surface, your intuition is wise to the fact that change is coming, and you're quietly bracing for it, even as you keep smiling and doing your best to show up for everyone who needs you. The unspoken tension isn't just about what you're doing, it's about what you're holding back. There's a dream you haven't voiced, a boundary you haven't drawn, or a truth you haven't let yourself fully acknowledge. This week finds you balancing not just tasks, but emotions and expectations, the world's and your own. The effort you bring to this balancing act creates its own momentum, Pisces. When each day is spent adjusting, smoothing, and responding, eventually the smallest shift can create a ripple that's impossible to ignore. The things you've been managing so delicately begin to demand more space, and the act of holding it all together starts to feel heavier. This isn't a loss of strength, it's the natural result when you carry too much for too long. What grows from this place is not chaos, but the pressure that signals a turning point is near. The inner state of gentle endurance is what sets the stage for what comes next. The need for release, for something to give way so that you can reclaim your energy. The tension you carry is the seed of transformation, and as it grows, it gently but unavoidably moves you toward a new path. Momentum gathers. Something is shifting beneath the surface and you're aware of it, even if you can't see its full shape. This is the pressure of the week, the presence of death not as an end, but as a strong current pulling you forward. It's not just about letting go, it's about the realization that the old way of managing simply can't continue. You might feel this as an urgency, A conversation you've been avoiding feels impossible to postpone, or a habit that once soothed you now feels empty. The friction is real. External events may begin to echo your internal unrest. Plans change unexpectedly, someone's patience snaps, or a new responsibility lands in your lap, forcing you to reevaluate what you can truly carry. There's discomfort in this, of course. You may feel exposed, vulnerable, or even a little lost. Yet there's also a strange relief in the way the old patterns begin to fall away. Like a tide that has reached its farthest edge and must now recede, you sense that something essential is being released so that something new can emerge. The path isn't smooth. There are moments when you want to cling to what's familiar, even if it no longer fits. There's sorrow in what must be left behind, but within the sorrow is a quiet hope, the sense that lightness will follow the letting go. The week brings events and pressures that challenge your adaptability, but these pressures are also invitations, openings where you can finally stop juggling for a moment and see what happens when you allow the next wave to carry you forward. The world rearranges itself around you, not in response to your effort, but in response to your willingness to move with it. In this way, the friction you feel is not a punishment, but a necessary clearing. But what comes from all this isn't automatic, Pisces. The potential that waits for you at the end of this week's journey depends on how you choose to meet these moments. If you move through these changes with intention, if you let yourself feel the discomfort, the grief, and the relief, then something opens. The future isn't fixed and your growth isn't guaranteed by circumstance alone. It's shaped by how gently you let yourself mourn what's ending and how bravely you welcome what could begin. The old patterns may fall away, but it's your conscious presence that allows for real release. Without this, the cycle repeats. With it, something new is possible. At the far side of this process sits the Ten of Swords, a card that speaks not of defeat, but of the clarity that dawns after a long night. The invitation here is to see that when one story ends, another quietly begins. The exhaustion you feel is real, but it's also a sign that you've reached the limit of what can be carried the old way. There's a strange peace in letting that be true. You may notice a sharpness in your awareness, as if you finally see what you've been denying. This isn't about giving up. It's about acknowledging where you've been hurt, disappointed, or stretched too thin. From that honesty comes a softness, a readiness to rise not with bravado but with quiet certainty. The invitation is to let the pain or fatigue have its say, and then with no rush notice what remains. The world looks different on the other side of surrender. You might find yourself more open, more willing to ask for help, or simply more compassionate with yourself. Growth, in this sense, is not about conquering anything. It's about recognizing what you cannot control and choosing to stand up anyway, lighter and clearer for what you've laid down. The week invites you to meet yourself with tenderness, to see the beauty in your limits, and to trust that something new will fill the space that's been cleared. Looking at the week as a whole, there is a gentle but unmistakable arc, a journey from balance through disruption into the vulnerable clarity that comes after release. The Two of Pentacles shows you managing, adapting, and holding together what you can, while death brings the necessity of change, the friction that makes it impossible to keep juggling in the same old way. The Ten of Swords is not a punishment but a doorway, a moment when you see what cannot continue, and in that seeing you begin to heal. All three cards speak not of endings for their own sake, but of the space that is created when you let go. You may feel sadness, exhaustion, or uncertainty, but these are not signs you've failed. Instead, they are signals that you're alive to the process of change. There is no shame in reaching your limit. In fact, it's the most honest thing you can do. By recognizing what's no longer sustainable, you free yourself to rest, to hope, and to begin again. The week holds you gently in this process, balancing, releasing, and then, when the time is right, rising again with a new kind of strength. Even if the path feels uncertain, you are not lost. You are simply beginning a new chapter, one where your needs and boundaries are honored and your heart is allowed to heal. Actionable insights for Pisces this week. Let yourself name one thing you no longer want to carry, even if it's just to yourself. Try giving yourself extra room to rest when you notice you're tired without needing to earn it. Let someone close to you know how you're really feeling, even if it's only a single sentence. Spoken word affirmations to repeat aloud for a more positive mindset. I am allowed to feel. What I release makes space for something gentle. My tiredness is not a weakness. Every ending I meet opens a door. I am here, and I am enough. And now, dear friend, I thank you for giving me your time. I truly hope I have given you something helpful in return. Goodbye and good luck until next time.